everybody to politics today. Let's interpret for some people. Yeah, I was just going through some posts on Facebook and I saw this allegedly attributed to Kenneth Okonkwo. You know, this guy here, the Living in Bondage Act. You guys should just take a screenshot of this. I use it as the icon for this video. But anyways, the ranting is just uh, I don't know. I hope it wasn't the one that wrote this, but it says, "You want to create the impression that only you can become president. Who are you?" It's not. Is that not an insult to over 20 million Igbo people? You made a third class in the university, and now you are saying only you can be president. Despite having personal concerns about Obi's political approach, I repeatedly defended him within the ADC's National Working Committee. I supported several decisions that were meant to reassure Obi and make him feel comfortable within the party structure. I did not object when Obi allegedly requested that his preferred candidate be appointed National Organizing Secretary to supervise the party's primary election process. I also remained silent when one of Obi's aides was reportedly placed in charge of the party's online membership registration system. These concessions were made in the interest of unity and trust. So even when you organize your own primary, you're still afraid. Come on. We should step aside. The Igbo ethnic group is filled with many capable and qualified individuals who possess the intelligence, leadership ability, and experience needed to govern Nigeria effectively. No single candidate should be made to appear indispensable, especially in a country with a large pool of talented leaders from different backgrounds. Kenneth Okonkwo. I'm saying that I hope he wasn't the one that wrote this because this is so like this is like crying over a spilled milk. Obi has moved on. You guys just move on. Tell us about somebody else. So say Kenneth Okonkwo is qualified to be president. Don't talk about Obi. Leave Obi alone. Just talk about what Kenneth Okonkwo can do, can bring to the table. I also think that I can be president of Nigeria. Right now, I just don't have the resources to run around like they are doing. And since the politics is majorly cash and carry, we need people like Obi who have the cash and have the pedigree to fight to make sure that we take policies away from cash and carry so that people can actually contest and people will look at your antecedents, look at your capabilities and capacity, and look at what you're promising them, you how you're able to articulate the problem and propose a solution and then vote for you based on that. I'm hoping that we get to that point. I remember when we were in at the university, sorry, when I was running for the student body government, my departmental election, the tuition that year was around how much was it? Maybe like 4,000 naira, and the cost of buying the form to be the expression of interest form was around 500 naira. You can see it was, and I think the association fees were around 200, 300, something like that. So it's something within reach that people can buy. A handout was going for around 250, 300 naira. I remember one was actually going for 300. I was a cost rep, so we fought to get it down to 200 or so. I had a big fight with one of our teachers then, because he was calculating if we photocopied each page, it would be 220. So let's make it round number. Let's make it 300 or something. Like, okay, let's round it down. Let's make it 200 for the students and so on. So I'm just saying this to say we were able to pay easily 200 for a handout or 300 in some cases, some textbooks 300 and so. So something within 500 is something that the students are used to kind of spending. So the form, expression of interest form, was around 500 naira. And it wasn't too much. It was something that most people could afford. And it was easy. Many people contested. Even when we were running for the cost rep, um, I remember when some guys saw me and they heard that I was interested in running. They told me by themselves they won't run again. I said, why? They said, because you're running, you know. And out of respect, they said they won't run. So it was fair. It was kind of on a level playing ground. People will decide if they want to run or not, you know. And they will put their best foot forward and people will vote for them, you know. And we were three that ran then. I remember two guys were in the class ahead of me and I won, right? So people, when I went to Katsina, when I was during my youth service, I was the president of the Nigerian drug free club, a Katsina branch. I remember when we came into to contest, we expressed our interest and we campaigned freely. The other guy was busy talking down at me because he was a little bit bigger. So he was belittling me before the people, talking down at me and saying all kinds of things. I just took it and turned it around for good. I say, you know what? We're in a generation of he was calling me short man just because he was a little bit taller. So, and he was, the people weren't happy with him because he wasn't telling the people what he was going to do. He was just busy focusing on me, talking about me and talking down at me. When it was my turn to speak, because he rounded off by calling me a short man, when I came on to speak, I said, we are in a generation of short men with tall ambitions. The whole crowd went wild. And that's all they remembered. And they voted for me. And when we finished our administration, we left money, what people never did before. Also when I was in institute as the assist president, we left money. We came in, we inherited debt about 4,000. When we left around 6,000, and we left around 16,000, and we did everything that other people did. We in fact did more because we built amplifier for the department, which we never had one made by us. The one we had was bought, but we built one for the department. We equipped a library for our departmental library. We did a lot of things. We did way more than was expected of us, and we still left a lot of money. In fact, it was so good when we left office, they asked me to hold on to the finance of the next executive set. And I was holding it until I had to leave for my IT. Why am I telling this story? Everyone has their own history, everyone has what they can present. But if you become fixated on the other guy, it shows you have nothing to offer. And guys, guys have seen that's my a little bit of my resume in that aspect. So if you want me to run for any office, and you want to sponsor me, I'm here. I'm volunteering to run, and the people will see the benefit of what they are paying for. You know, People will get a dividend of who they voted for and why they voted. Right? We need to practice what I call participatory democracy. I've been saying this long time ago. I wrote articles on that. It's online. I think it's my presidential ambition, something like that. I also wrote something at the beginning of Return to Democracy in 1999. I called it my vision for a democratized Nigeria. It was in 1998 I wrote that. It was broadcast on FRC and national station in Enugu. So I did a lot of, anticipation of what I would want a democratized Nigeria to be. And I still have the vision of how to make that country great. When people, so I'm an Igbo person, okay. So when you say that Igbo people have this and that to offer, why don't you just offer yourself and say what you can do instead of putting down another? I know I don't have the means of Obi to run around and do what he's doing, but I know that if I become the president, the nation will be good. Trust me. The nation will be good. Insecurity will be solved in 6 months. Insecurity will be solved in 6 months. Listen, if you tell the farmers that you are in your farm, let me give you open idea. Obi doesn't want to say everything, but listen. If you tell the farmers that if you're in your ancestral home, you are in your ancestral land, in your ancestral farm, and you're doing your business, and someone comes to kill you, if somebody must die, make sure you are not the one that died. If you say that, those killers that go to the farms, they will stop going there. And you tell the courts and the judges, listen, if someone comes to someone's house to kill them, and someone must die, the person who is in his house has the right to make sure that he is not the one that died. You don't have to say anything more than that. If they bring someone to court and the judge say, "Oh, this person killed somebody," and they say, "What happened?" They say he was in his farm and an intruder came with weapons, with guns, with knives, and tried to kill him, and he made sure that he wasn't the one that died. The court should hail him. They should put him on the front pages and say, "This guy is an upstanding person of this country, upstanding student or citizen," like they do in Florida. The Florida has this law: stand your ground. Someone comes to your house and decides that somebody must die that day, and you tell him, "Okay, I agree with you. I will be the one telling the story to the police." And just make sure you are the one telling the story. Don't let him be the one telling the story. All those murderers will stop. It will stop. But if people try to make sure that they are undead, the police and the army and the military, they will come against those people. The communities that are minding their own business in their own ancestral homes, and people come to unalive them, and they say, "No, we refuse to be unalived." Then the police will come after them. Why? The body language of the presidency will stop this stupidity. You sometimes they take people, and then they will kill the people, even after collecting ransom. Well, at some point, if they can't listen to reason, at some point we have to take drastic measures so that we can forestall what they did in Zakibim. I don't praise it, but what they did might be maybe a version of that. Maybe that'll be collateral damage at some point. But when you wipe those guys from the forest, these guys know their camps. Send them a message. Use BBC Hausa. Send them a message. Look, or Fulani or Fufu, whatever they speak. Use the BBC because they listen to radio all the time. Tell them, look, leave your camps. Come into the city. If you're a Nigerian, come into the city. We have 2 weeks window. Drop your arms, and we'll forgive you, train you, and reintegrate you into the society. After that 2 weeks window, if we find you in the forest, just just know that you're a dead person. All these things will stop. It will stop. 6 months, it will stop. People can go back to their farms. People can sleep and wake up in their homes and have peace. They say it's foreigners doing this. They are doing that because we are giving them, we are letting them. Like they tell us, "Oh, we sold our own brothers to slave trade, and now we're telling it as a story." And people are now twisting the story and saying it was this way, it was that way. If the people know that when they take the money from the foreigners, that their government is going to unalive them, they won't take the money. They won't take the money. But what's the point? Why would you take the money? They're going to unalive you. You won't take the money. They say, "Oh, Chinese people doing this, that." Everybody's going to die. Everybody will die. If you live to be 200 years, you will still die. So why won't you do the right thing now? Because you're going to die anyways. Whether you do the right thing or the wrong thing, it doesn't matter. You're still going to die. Stand up for your country. Stand up and be counted. Okay, let's say, okay, yeah, I agree. Oh, because human lives are involved, you don't want to kill anybody. I don't want to kill anybody too. In fact, if I am the governor or the president, I don't think I will ever sign any death penalty, to be frank. The person will just be there. I won't sign any of such. I won't like to kill anybody. I get that. But listen, you can give people electricity. You don't have to kill anybody. Give people electricity. Fix the roads. If you're failing woefully in insecurity, fix the roads. Give people electricity. All these tariffs you guys are trying to put, or taxes you guys are trying to put on solar, let the people breathe. Leave them alone. You won't give them power. They get solar, want to tax them. What's your problem? Now, you guys want to put 30% tax, and you're not even making it income tax. You're saying if money comes into someone's account, you're going to tax it 30%, 25%, 20%. Why? If you want to tax someone, shouldn't it be on the profit they've made from their business? So if someone wants to, he's running a business and they give him 1 million for building materials or for raw material. He's going to be paid later after he finished the job. But as soon as 1 million comes in, you're targeting 250,000 or what? Like, what is wrong with you people? Really, what is wrong with you people? What is wrong with you? You know. So this is crazy. So I have an idea what I would do for the country, and many people also have ideas what they would do. But tell us your ideas. Stop this, Obi, that. Someone wrote that Obi goes to TV stations to talk about the problems of Nigeria, while other politicians go to TV stations to talk about Obi. You know, tell us what you want to do. You don't want to run. You want to support somebody. Okay, tell us what that person want to do. I want to run. I just don't have the means right now, but I want to run. And I see myself, I see him, you know, having some of the qualities and the traits that I admire in a leader. I wrote an article that was also broadcast on FRC and Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, Enugu National Station, in the 90s, maybe 97, 98, 99, around that time. And the article was about um a leader. Who is a leader? I talked about a leader being someone like Indira Gandhi, who didn't see leadership as a means of who went into the countryside to see and feel the aspirations of his people. I talked about leadership like the life of Julius Nyerere, who didn't see leadership as a means of self enrichment, but as a means of enriching all. I talked about leadership as the triad of the rod of Moses, you know, of how identifying what is and what should be and bridging the gap between the what is and what should be. I talked about leadership in the light of Jesus Christ, in terms of when he was faced with an adulterer, he knew temperance. I talked about leadership as being temperate, as being visionary. I talked about a leader as being an enigma, simple but enigmatic. You know, and these are they were on radio FRC radio national radio station in the 90s. You know, if I don't know if they still have the archives, and these are before Obi became a phenomenon, because became even a governor. These are my visions. When Nkama Jr. was when Nkama Jr. and what's the other guy, um, they were the hosts in those days. They were broadcast. So these are my visions. When I went to Katsina, I I was contributing to the radio station. I think it was Good Morning Katsina or something like that. Samson Ohiomohai was anchoring the show on the radio station in Katsina, the FM in Katsina, and I talked about being at the right place at the right time. And I said, may I not be in America when I'm supposed to be in Dusama, or anywhere in Katsina, or anywhere in Nigeria. These were my visions. So I'm not saying it for people to say, oh, because I'm not doing it because I'm following up. When I see that he has some of the qualities that I talked about back in the days, because I think about these things and I write about them. And I probably have the papers in my basement. Maybe one time I go look for them. I probably have the papers with me here because I wrote it on paper, and I had my friend Amaka type it out and send to the radio station, or sometimes she would type it out, I go pick it up and send to the radio station myself, because these are my visions. And when I was in Katsina, I think I took it myself to the radio station, because I stayed there with Samson Ohiomoha. He was a very good friend of mine before he was called into glory. Why am I saying all these things? I'm saying this to say I have visions. I just don't have the means in the current landscape, the way they run politics, to go and do that. Because when you go, they're going to buy the votes, and the people, because they are hungry, because they have weaponized poverty. People will say, well, let me just manage this, my 5,000 today, or my Indomie today, because I don't know what the other guy is going to do. you know and and you're conflicted, because you want to tell these people, are you guys out of your minds? But you're also conflicted because these people want to survive. And they've had this kind of government after government that they don't really know who is telling them the truth. But one thing I know is character is consistent. If you look at someone's history long enough, you will know that character is consistent. Some of my character traits I inherited from my parents, especially my dad in this case. My dad, I remember in those days, he went to, he had an assignment for the community and they gave him money to do something for them. He went for that for the community, spent the money, bought things, paid for whatever he had to pay, and on his way back, he ran out of his own personal money, but he still had the balance of the money given to him by the community. He stopped at Obede. That was the last place his money could take him to, and he trekked all the way from Obede to Akko just so he can bring the balance to his people. I'm like, why would you do that? Like he doesn't want to tell them story. He doesn't want to tell them, well, we shot one bird and the mother flew away. No, he brought back their balance to them. And I'm like, who is this man? You know. So I believe that if I have to do something for someone, I have to be transparent. I remember one time I was doing a project for my nephew in Port Harcourt. He bought a house and we have to renovate it, and he gave me some money to pay for the workers and everything, and I was paying for it, and I joined the workers. I joined them as one of the people serving them. So I didn't pay me because, and that meant I saved money because the money was counted for each person that would work there. So I replaced one of them, and because I said, okay, I'll do some of the jobs, I will serve you guys, I will do this, I will do that. And then we didn't hire somebody to do that job. When the job was done, I had some change, I gave it back to him and say, here is the balance. There wasn't supposed to be any balance, but because we were short one workforce and we didn't have to look for one, I took the job. When I finished, I gave him the balance. Although he left the money for me, truth be told, but I was accountable for what was assigned to me, and that was before I even traveled overseas. I wasn't even expecting. I didn't know that I was going to travel overseas, but when the time came, he looked at what he knows he could trust me, and so when he was able to help me out, he didn't think twice about it. So you can look at someone's antecedent, you can look at people that knew people, look at people's history, and say these people can serve in this area. Because we are tired, to be frank. I don't know why I'm telling you guys all this, but we are tired of these people coming in and just stealing us blind every time. And once they get in there, they begin to load it on themselves. They begin to lift their shoulders. I am this, I am that. I am this, I am that. We don't want any of that. In terms of academics, I was in the academia some time ago, and I went to the highest level I could get to. You could assume whatever that level is, but I went to the highest I could go in my profession and even above. But on my LinkedIn, my preferred title is brother, BRO, brother, because I prefer to be your brother than to be any of those titles. Because it's not just in me to be answering all those titles. So people call me sometimes as I accept because they are telling the truth. But if you ask me what I prefer to be a brother. It makes me feel like I'm part of you and you're part of me. That's why if you go on my LinkedIn, that's what you're gonna see, brother. I prefer to I know it's professional, whatever, but for me, that I'm related to you is more important to me than I'm anything else. We need people that are human beings that can feel the pulse of the society. We need people that can look at us and say, what is, what should be, how do we bridge the gap? That's what we're looking for. We're not looking for people to answer His Excellency. Meanwhile, they came through the most crooked ways. Titobi say that people, before you become an excellent, you have to be at least fair, then good, very good, then maybe best before you become excellent. But people just steal their way and answer the excellency. And Peter B said, you can't come through the window and start cleaning the house. You know, if you think you have what it takes, tell us about you. Tell us what you can do. Tell us stories like I'm telling you stories. That's the way they play politics in this part of the world is that you tell people stories that will resonate with them. And if they see themselves in you, that is what is happening with P2B. Many people are seeing themselves in him Others are seeing their aspirations in him. Many Nigerians are wondering, is this the best we could do? These thieves? Someone will steal, and when you want to question him, he will pretend that he's fainted and the interview ends. Someone steals billions, and then he pretends he has stroke or whatever. He's walking on crutches, enters his hotel room, and puts down the crutches and is bending down and doing their prayer, down and down and up, without any hint that there was any problem with them, not knowing there was a camera there. But when they come out in the public, they will carry crutches, and they're deceiving the nation. People are wondering. The other guy, Ganduje, he was caught on camera, taking bribe. I think $50,000, putting in his cap or something like that. And people are wondering, is this the best we can do? Like, you get rewarded for doing that kind of thing? We saw what happened in Rivers State, where somebody was threatening the electoral officials that if you don't change the result the way I'm telling you, you won't go leave Rivers State alive. And what happened? He was rewarded with a ministerial position. People are wondering, is this the best? Is this the best we can do? And so when they see someone different in P2B, they, number one, seeing themselves. Number two, they are seeing their aspirations in that young man. And they're saying, I know it can be better. I know it can be better. That's why people love him. If you think, I heard what's his name, Dave Omai, saying that, it's not the turn of the Igbos now, blah blah blah, saying all kinds of things. I know that he wants to be president too, of course. I know that Soludo wants to be president. That's why Soludo is, going after Peter with this and that. But you can just talk about yourself. Don't leave the guy alone. Talk about yourself. Say what you would do if you were president. Throw in your heart and come and run. Now, you can't run now, Soludo, and you can't run now, Omahi, because, I mean, you will prefer that Tinubu continues because then you probably keep your ministerial position. But you know that you are one of the two people from the Southeast that have any appointment with him. Trust me, if he does what he did the first time and we let him, and he grabs it and snatches it and runs with it, he will remove you. Write it down. This is not prophecy. I'm a prophet, but I'm not being prophetic now. I'm just telling you based on observation. He's gonna remove you. There won't be anybody that will be of worth from the southeast that will be in his cabinet. Nobody. South, probably Wiki. But he wouldn't need Wiki, to be frank, because if he snatches it, if he grabs it, if he runs away with it, he's going to remove Wiki. Wiki is going to become too toxic for him because Wiki is going to try to show himself as Wiki. Nyesom, give only me. That's the meaning of his name. Nyesom, give only me. In other words, just I'm the only one that matters. Give only me. He's going to bring that attitude, and Tinubu is not going to like it, and it's going to remove him, and he's gonna start making noise, but then they'll put him in jail just like Erufai, and he will keep quiet. Umahi, they will remove Umahi easily. Umahi won't make any noise because he has nothing to make noise about. So if they will put anybody, it will be an OES person who will not be able to say anything from the southeast, south. Nobody will be of worth. What's his name? Akpabio, if even if they pass the law, the change of rules in the House, in the Senate, he's trying to pass. Even if they pass it, they will remove him. Write this down. I'm not being prophetic. I'm not looking into the future, peering into the spirit realm or anything like that. I'm just speaking naturally right now, based on observation. One state in the southwest has 3 ministers. Meanwhile, the entire southeast has two, and south has about three or so. So believe me, if grabs it, if he snatches it, if he runs away with it again, and we keep quiet, believe me, every position will be from the southwest. Then all the remaining federal capitals will be relocated. If all the remaining multinationals and all the remaining headquarters of businesses will be relocated to Lagos. Believe me, go and write it down. This is what is going to happen. And if that happens, he's going to strategize. His son is going to be put in prime position for the governor of Lagos State after 2031, so that 2035. And then he's gonna make sure he's gonna put his own person to be president after him, just as he did in Lagos. Write these things down. Now, P2B is saying something like, when I left office, I haven't received one kobo from the state. When I was the chairman, I didn't receive one kobo from them. When I was bank chairman, nobody gave me any car, all those things. He's saying all this freely. He's saying when they were campaigning, I gave Fashola a car, I gave Ojuzo a car, I drove Obasanjo myself to the campaign ground. These guys are alive. Nobody's calling them and asking them, is it true? Is he using your name to lie? Because these guys will die sometime, maybe in the next 200 years or whatever. But before it reaches the time they will die, that you say nobody can ask them, they are alive today. Call them. Call Ojus or Kano. Call Carlo. Is it Kano or Carlo? Carlo. Call Fashola. Call Obasanjo. Say, is it true what this guy is saying? Then other governors and ministers, why are you guys not um why are you guys not imitating this guy? And also the lawmakers. If I become a lawmaker today, one of the things I'll propose, and I know they're gonna fight against it, but one of the things I'm gonna propose is this. If you are taking active salary, not in your private business, if you're working in government and you're taking active salary, you should suspend pension from the other place. When you finish this, for instance, you were a governor, you're taking salary. You finish your tenure as a governor, you become a senator. You should not be taking salary as an ex-governor. If you want to take that salary, don't take the one on the Senate. If you just want to serve, let's say governorship is paying you 700 million, like they said, and Senate is paying you 30 million. You can decide, I don't want to take the salary from the Senate. I will keep taking my governorship. You shouldn't take two salaries from the same country. You shouldn't. Or you can suspend the governorship and take your normal salary as a senator, and then when you retire or when you're done as a senator, you can then choose. They can make it flexible for you because you've served the country in different capacities. They can make it flexible and say choose one of the pensions to receive, but you shouldn't be receiving double at the same time. They should make it easier, even if you think there's a law that allows you to do that. But fairness, when people are receiving 30,000, 70,000, 60,000 per month, you know, what conscience do you have to be taking that kind of money from the same country? What conscience do you have? People don't have light. Since I came to this country 21 years now, they've never light never went off. Anytime my light is not on, my bulb was out. Or maybe my fuse tripped. 21 years straight. If there's any renovations, they will tell you, or maybe any repair work, they will tell you, we're going to take switch off. We're going to switch off to do the renovation. It's going to take us 2 hours to do the maintenance, and we're going to switch it back on. If they want to turn off the water, they will write you weeks ahead and say, on this day, make sure you fetch water from your tap and keep it, because from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, the target when most people are out of home, they are in the offices, but they will still warn you and say, in case you're home from 10 to 12, we're going to be fixing the city water. When you come back, turn the tap on for 10 minutes, for 30 minutes, whatever, however long, turn it on so that the chemicals that might have fallen into the reservoir would have washed off before you start using your water. Obviously, you fetch some water before. Things work. Things work. Many people here don't know the name of their governors or the premiers. They don't know because things work. Nobody's going around shouting, "Oh, governor did this." A working governor. Oh, he fixed the road. Nobody, nobody's shouting those things. Why? Because things just work. I remember when I came here in 2005, the campaign was between Stephen Harper and Paul Martins. Paul Martin, I think, yeah. And the only thing that I remember Stephen Harper was saying was that I'm gonna give you back 2 cents on a dollar. Your tax is 15% now. I'm gonna make it 13%. That's the only thing you could campaign on. And then maybe at some point, it was discovered that Paul Martin took some bribe and something like that. But it was simple. I'm gonna give you back 2 cents on a dollar. This guy won election based on 2 cents on a dollar, and he said, "I won't give it to you once. I'll give you 1 cent first, and after a while, I'll give you another 1 cent." He was voted and he won because of 2 cents on a dollar, reducing taxes, harmonized services tax. He reduced them from 15% to 13%. You can't tell the people you will fix the road, you build the road. They will know you don't know what you're talking about because the road should be done. You were paid to do that. You shouldn't tell us you're going to do that. If you tell us you're going to build the road, you don't know what you're doing. If I run in Nigeria now, if God permits me and I run, when I run, I will be telling you I will build the roads, I will give security, I will because that's what the people have been reduced to. But in this part of the world, you don't say that. You don't tell people that you're going to give them security. Your number one job as the leader, the governor, or the president is to protect life and property. When you come and start telling us, "I'm going to protect your life and property," that means you don't know what you're coming to do, because that is why you're coming in the first place. So why are you telling us you're going to do that? You should know that you're going to do that. If you don't do that, we'll send you away. But in that country, they come in and they're using siren to intimidate the people. This shouldn't happen. No, no. Enough is enough. Kenneth Okonkwo and the rest and the likes, you guys need to do better. Present yourself to run. Present yourself. You can run for Senate. Look at what what's her name? Um, what's this my friend's name? Aisha Yusuf is doing. She's running in Abuja. Look at what Peter for Nigeria is doing. He's running from, is it Akwa Ibom or Cross River? One of those. He's running. Present yourself. Even if you want to jump and be like Showore, present yourself. Even though Showore is also suffering from the same disease, pitobiasis. That's what is happening to all of them. The Reno Mockeries, the FFKs, the Bayonanogas, the now what's his name, Kenneth Okonkwo, and Showore. All of them are suffering from pitobiasis. Otherwise, why can't you just tell us what you're gonna do? It's okay. Tell us. I remember in those days, people would go to school, write exams, do very poorly. They come back, they ask, "How did you do in school?" They would say, "Everybody failed." No, no. Don't worry about everybody. You. How did you do? I'm telling you, everybody in the class failed. Everybody failed. Even that my friend that was very smart, everybody failed. Now, I'm not asking about them. Okay, what did you get? You wrote a math exam. What did you score in your math exam? Do you know Peter? He failed. Do you know Paul? He also failed. Do you know Andrew? He failed. That's not the question. What did you get? I'm telling you that everybody failed, you know, because they did so poorly. They don't have anything to present. And to make themselves feel good, they start pushing the narrative that the other one did bad. Here they're saying that Peter Obi had a third class. What and so what? Even though we saw the certificate was 2-2, but it's not about writing exams. It's about getting educated. Many people don't understand that. Getting educated is different from writing exams and passing. What did you learn as you pass through those walls? Whether you have first class or second class or third class, it doesn't matter. What did you learn? And how is that reflecting in the society? What P2B learned, whether got third class or fourth class or fifth class or whatever you guys want to call it, whether even had just a pass, let my people go. He took that and transformed the SEC. He took that, transformed some banks. He took that, transformed Anambra State. Take your first class or your second class, whatever that makes you feel pompous. Even if you're Patrick Obiobor speaking all the big languages, what did it translate to? How did it change the life of an everyday Nigerian? How did he help anybody? How? P2B bought the largest number of computers that he gave to secondary schools, 30,000. He gave two buses to every secondary school in Anambra State. He built colleges of health sciences, accredited many of them, scores or close to scores of them. He did. He people wanted to give him gift worth 120 million. Then he told them use this to build hostels for three schools at 40 million each. Someone gifted him a watch. He said, "No, take it and buy a bus for a school. You've given me the watch. If you do that for the school, you have given me the watch." They wanted to throw a party for him to celebrate him. He said, use it to sponsor this school. If you do that, you have celebrated me. Because the money was supposed to be used for those purposes. What did you do with your first class? Let's say he had third class. That is, imagine he had third class. Let's even say third class minor. Okay, I know there's nothing like that, but let's just say he had third class minor. Let's say he even had just a pass. Let my people go. He used that his let my people go sense to go to Harvard, Kellogg's School, and all those places, and Lagos Business School. Use that same third class or let my people go brain and went to all those places and got education, not certificate. He got education, and that education he got was able to help him to do these things. To translate Millennium Development Goals. Nobody talks about, no state talks about it in Nigeria except P2B. Created the best economy in Anambra State in Nigeria. This based on statistics from the Federal Republic of Nigeria and coming from the mouth of Soludo before he swallowed their Kool-Aid. I don't know what they eat, but when he was running on P2B's credibility and his performance. And he was telling us that look, he moved Anambra from 27 to first consistently for 3 years. Anambra became the safest state. He did this, he did that. He saved 50 million and 120 billion, $50 million, 120 billion naira in three banks. So $150 million and 360 billion naira he saved for Anambra State. Many of them collaborated by Alex Oti were saved in Eurobonds. Some of them matured after 2022. Willie Obiano took some of them and built airport. These are verifiable things. Tell us what you will do or what you have done. Let's go and verify. Instead of just talking about him, he's thinking he's the only one. He's not thinking Jack. People are the ones forcing, people like me that do not have the resources to run now, are the ones saying, please run for us, run on our behalf. Please run. If he refuses, we'll make him run. We'll make him run. If he doesn't have the money, we can contribute and buy form for him. I just don't have it, and I don't think I have the influence right now for people to come around me and say, we know. Only people closest to me will know that if I am eating and someone else is hungry, I don't mind going hungry and making sure that someone around me eats. I remember several times I did support some people that are indigent, people that are less privileged than I am. Thank God that He has changed my situation, changed my story. But some of the times, people that are close to me, they know that I actually borrow from these guys. I don't want to say their names because I didn't take permission. But sometimes I borrow from people to to do things for other people, and then and I gradually find my way, find a way out to pay back those people that I borrowed from. But when I look at people and I feel compassion for them, I feel like, how are they managing? How are they, doing this? So I know I don't have the influence and the affluence currently physically because I have it spiritually. And the time will come, if it pleases God for it to manifest, I want to show that this is possible. It is possible to have a country that works. I remember 2003, 4, before traveling overseas, I was speaking with my friend Prince, and I was telling him things that are possible, things we could do for that country, things that are possible that we could do, you know. And we were speaking the same language because when I was running in Esut, he was my campaign manager, and he knew how we did, what we did to help the people. We offered some, like when I was running, people already knew me because of my technical skills, and I went around promising them that when I become president, I'll be able to teach them how to be engineers the way they should be, by becoming practically oriented, teaching them hands-on how to do the things they were going to spend 4 years, 5 years to learn. I was going to help them and bridge that gap and give them the core things because I knew them. I learned them. Some of them gifts, inborn, natural, innate in me. Some of them I observed from my father, and then some of them I pushed myself during secondary school to learn a little bit more. And so I had something to teach and to give to them. And by the time we won the election, I didn't have time to teach any of those things I promised. I didn't have time. But before that, God is so wise because before that, I had trained some people, about 3 or 4 guys. I've trained them to know many of the things I was going to teach, anyways. So I had these guys teach those free to the students. And then I'll come and observe. Of course, we had separate classes that was paid, but there was a general one but that was free for everybody, free for everyone who wanted to learn. And we came in at the third year. We're supposed to come in at fourth year, but the outgoing people told me that they thought I was going to lose, so they allowed me to run. And to their surprise, I won, and I came in with my team, and my team were teaching. Prince, Prince, Saint Chijoke, Udu, they were teaching these guys. You know, so I'll come in sometimes and supervise, inspect, and then give them tips if I have to, and then go away because politics was just you have to go, you have to do this, have to discuss with this faculty, that and that and that and that. So it was too busy for me, but I had time to supervise, and I had my guys teaching them for free, and I didn't pay them. They weren't doing it for me to pay them or anything because they were my classmates. They were doing it because they saw my heart and they bought what I was selling. Let's make these guys be who they say what they came in here to do. And many of us are doing well now. All of us, actually, all of us are doing well. You know, so we can do the same thing. We can replicate it because character. I say all the time, character is consistent. It's something that doesn't change. It's like rum. Read only memory. You don't change it. You just read from it. It's not like random access memory, which is rewritable. You can write to it, you can read from it. But ROM is your character. It is inborn. It's who you are. It's what you gravitate to. I'm making this video and it's becoming too long and it's past 1 a.m. I'm gonna go to sleep. But Kenneth Okonkwo, please take your prophylaxis, take your medicines, drink your medicine, and relax. Relax. Don't join the Daniel Boalas of this world, people that can speak from two sides of their mouth. The Reno mockeries. You saw him the other day, Mr. Obi, Mr. Peter Obi, walking to him after, you know, casting. And the man offered his hand of fellowship and shook your hand because it doesn't mean he didn't hear all those things he was saying. But he's like Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. The guy is flying high. He knows that it's just where you're facing where the money is coming from right now. And Reno Mokri is already preparing a soft landing for himself because he knows that they sent him to Mexico because he was saying the guy is a drug lord. So they sent him there so that he'll go and meet the drug people. He'll go and face them squarely, you know. And trust me, if we allow him to snatch, to grab, to run away with it, he's gonna drop Reno. If Mexico didn't take care of him, he will drop him. Believe me. Believe everything I'm telling you now. Write it down. But it won't happen because we're not gonna let it happen this time around. If people go to the polls and vote for him and for real, he wins, then let's just support him because we have one president at a time. Let's support him. If he truly wins, like I was saying yesterday, I said there are two people that shouldn't be campaigning in Nigeria anymore. There are two people. Number one is Alex Oti. Alex Oti should be forbidden from campaigning for any election in Abia State right now. He should be barred from campaigning. The works he has done should campaign for him. They should just give him automatic comeback. The works he has done will testify, they will speak for him. If the people couldn't speak, the work should open their mouth and say, we want the painter back. He shouldn't campaign. The other person that shouldn't campaign is Tinubu. He should not campaign. He's been there for 3.5 years, the same length of time that actually coming up to 3 years this May. So he's coming up to 3 years this May 29th. So he's been there, and he said he handed over to himself. So he's taking credit of the previous 8 years. So the previous 8 years plus the now 3 years coming to completion now, so that'll be 11 years. He shouldn't be campaigning. He should just be pointing. He should just be like, what's his name? That guy on Instagram, the Senegalese guy that is based in Italy. Is it Liam or Lame? Somebody Lame. Yeah. He should just be like, Tinubu should be just, they say you didn't give us what you should be. Insecurity will be, Agbado, Ewa. Anything they talk, you just point at it. It shouldn't be campaigning. You just let the works campaign for him. He shouldn't be doing the city boys thing, sharing money, getting envelopes with his pictures on it. No, it shouldn't be done. They say, oh, they have 800 billion from governors. The money they should use to run the country, they are contributing it to for re-election. You have 30 something governors. You should just be pointing. Like they say, oh, what's the evidence of? Go and verify. You just be like, just call the lame guy. Let him just be. No road, no, what's it called? Security, no electricity. Just be pointing. It shouldn't be campaigning, wasting people's time. It should be the new guys whom we haven't seen that will be running around and sweating and telling us, if you give me a chance, I'll do this. If you give me a chance, I'll do this. Tinubu and Alex Oti and all the incumbent governors should just be pointing at their works. Let the works speak for them. All right. This has been my regurgitation. It's almost an hour. This has been my political interpretations, and really, what's his name? Kenneth Okonkwo should just calm down. He has entered the class of Daniel Boala and Rena Omokri. FFK has even vanished from the class. I think he left their WhatsApp group, or he's on probation in their WhatsApp group. Kenneth Okonkwo, this doesn't fit you. You just after talking now at the people, the city boy is doing his own. He's even doing his own. I don't even know what I would want to call his own rage. He thinks he's on set. Oh yeah, action. Acts a rageful man. And tomorrow, because these guys are rent seekers, tomorrow now he's gonna come back and say, "Oh, now we're in the same party." Like I told people, I am not upset with Kenneth Okonkwo, to be frank, because I saw what he said about him. What's his name? Atiku, and then what he's saying about Atiku. Now I'm like, oh boy, these guys, oh boy, I don't know how they do that. I can't do that. That's why I'm not one of those that call people names and talk down on people, because I don't know. I number one, by principle, I can't do that. My faith as a Christian won't let me do that, but also by principle, I can't do that. I can criticize what the person did, but leave the person alone. Like I can't just say you're not capable of something. No, I can say you lifted this cup and you did lift it. I will say what you did. You lifted this cup. You shouldn't have done that, because this is not yours. You took it away. It shouldn't have been done. It is not yours. But I won't turn around and say that you are an enemy. You are not an enemy. I won't say you are incapable of lifting another cup or buying your own cup. I won't say that. But I will say, when you lifted that cup was the wrong time. That's what is called righteous judgment. So you shouldn't have lifted it up that time, because you did that. It distracted us and we lost the game. Something like that. But I won't say because you lifted the cup, you're a kleptomaniac, you're a thief, you're a perjurer, you're this and that and that. No, that has nothing to do with what you did now. if you focus your discussion on the topic, if you focus your discussion on the substance, you save yourself all these embarrassments. Look at Reno Mokri running around in London calling Tinubu Ole. Now he's his errand boy in Mexico. Look at Buala. All the things he said, they almost killed him. You know, he didn't eat for you, or he almost didn't eat for 3 days or so. Look at him going to Al Jazeera to embarrass himself. You know, so if you go to those extremes, sometimes when you're dealing with people like Tinubu, you make you eat your words. You can take that to the bank. All right, God bless you. It's been yours truly, number one interpreter for everybody, and we have just interpreted for Kenneth Okonkwo and other Nigerian politicians. A new Nigeria is possible. Make sure you have your voters ID and vote. God bless you. Bye bye. No, I won't say this word. I won't say this. This is not me. Let's just remove that.